This is the 1981 movie For Your Eyes Only, a part of the James Bond series starring Roger Moore. Bond climbs up the fictional St. Cyril's monastery in Greece with a rope coiled around his shoulder. A bad guy thinks he hears something, but moves on. Bond places a cam, his first piece of protection. Not exactly a great placement. Bond decides he's going to connect the middle of his rope using an overhand on a bite to a carabiner attached to his cam. Bond's doing some lead climbing. And we got two of the bad guys going off to do some other bad guy stuff. A guy with some binocs keeping track of Bond's progress. His whole crew watches intently as Bond makes his way up to the monastery. Looks like Bond brought his climbing shoes. Oh man, a pesky rock bird. Don't you hate when that happens? His team tells him to stay down as the bad guy is once again alerted to his position. The bad guy sees the bird and once again backs down. After a short traverse, Bond places a piton, his second piece of protection, using a rock to muffle the sound as he hammers it in. Bonus points for placing the carabiner upside down with the gate facing in the correct direction. Roger Moore was apparently so afraid of heights that he had to drink quote-unquote moderately in order to act out these scenes. Bond barely manages to get over the lip. Somehow oblivious to the bad guy before him, he gets kicked in the face. As Bond rolls off the lip, we can see he only has a few feet of rope between himself and the first piton, which we never saw him set. Two pitons get ripped out of the rock wall and Bond falls unrealistically for 60 feet or more. Here we can see about 12 feet of rope spread across the pitons before they get ripped out, plus the approximately 12 feet between Bond and the first piton before he falls. Therefore, we should expect to see a 24-foot fall below the remaining piton holding onto the rope and Bond. Instead, we see this massive, unrealistic fall. Look at these terrible placements. One even has the gate of the carabiner against the wall. Now Bond is taking his shoelaces out. I wonder what he needs them for. Looks like he's making a prusik loop. So he can remember climbing shoes, a dynamic rope, and a harness, but he forgets to bring ascenders. Now he uses his other laces to create a second 6-coil prusik while the bad guy makes his way down towards him. He is using a basic sit-stand method using the prusiks, using his own shoelaces as life support. Talk about sketchy. Our bad guy now makes his way over to the edge. Our bad guy bangs at Bond's pitons using the butt of his pistol. The piton flies out of the wall, and this drop is a lot more realistic. Bond only has 2 pitons left, and one can magically change orientation. At 4 minutes 29 seconds, the gate is facing out. 3 seconds later, and the gate is facing in. At the start of the climb, he used a cam here, but now it's magically a piton. We can see Bond, backed up by his rope, terminated to his harness as he ascends on shoelace prusik loops. The bad guy tries to bang out Bond's second to last piton. The piton is ejected from the rock, sending Bond plummeting for a third time. This time it also looks more realistic. Here's the first real shot of his harness. Hard to tell what's going on though. Bond pulls out a throwing knife, flings it at the bad guy, who takes it in the chest and falls to the ground. Let's take a closer look. This is definitely a real stuntman, but why is he indoors? There are rafters above him and a light visible in the upper right corner. This is most definitely a stunt dummy. This looks a little slowed down for effect.
Postis, one of Cristato's killers.
With his one remaining piton just about to pull out, Bond gives his team the go-ahead, and he is able to grab the rope left by the bad guy and safely ascends to the monastery. He then throws his rope off the cliff. Why would you do that? Why?